Hey, welcome to Decide and Do with JW. This is Decide and Do 128, starting over at 0. So have you ever tried something and you were going at it day after day after day, and you started to calculate the days that you were, doing this, say, working out or saying having a clean diet, and then you had a lapse and you missed a workout or you cheated on your diet? What happens? You have to start back over at 0. And say that you've been doing this and you've been working at it and you worked at it, 4 months, 6 months, almost a year, and all of a sudden this happens. You got to start back over. It's okay. It's okay because you have to think about, you started at 0 originally and you got as far as you did. So you have a little lapse. You have, this cheat day when it comes to your diet. Now what? You do exactly what you did originally. You get back on the plan. You start back over at 0 and you work your way back up to that. Now, throughout that, obviously you try to ensure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing by not cheating on your diet, not missing that workout, counting, every single day that you were doing what you were trying to do. But 6 months, a year from now, if something happens and all of a sudden you cheat on that diet again, or you miss a workout, or you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, you just start back over. How many times have you had to start back over at 0? There might be 1, 2, 10, 100, 1,000, who knows? As long as after you start back at 0, you don't remain at 0. So day after day after day. So if I'm working out and I've went, a year working out straight in a good routine, and all of a sudden I miss that workout, and then the next day I miss that workout, and the next day I miss the workout, and the next day I miss the workout, well, guess what? I'm not doing anything. And now I'm not on the program that I set out for myself altogether. But if you do that and you're working, 6 months straight, and you have that lapse and you miss that workout, and as long as you get back and you start 1, 2, 3, and you're counting the days that you get back on it, then that is progress. That is action. That is the action that you're taking to continue to do what you're trying to do, to take you from where you are to where you want to be overall. So don't look at zeros and don't look at, those days as like, oh my goodness, the world is ending overall. It's not. It's just starting back over. So are you. But it's fine because say you've went 200 and some odd days of doing something phenomenal, and all of a sudden, hey, you have that day where it's just garbage. You start back over. You work your way back up to that phenomenal level that you know that you can get to. And that's the hardest part for people to understand. But it's the easiest one to see overall, because if you just look at what you've already done, you know that you can get there. You know that you can do that. You know that you can go ahead and hit every single workout for 6 months. You know that you can stick to your diet for every single day for 6 months, a year, however long. You know that you can practice every single day, waking up early and shooting as many free throws as you possibly can. Going to the batting cages and hit as many balls as you can. Going to the track and running as many laps as you can. Whatever it is that you're working for, working towards, that goal overall, you know that you were able to do it. So when you have that day when you miss it, you have that day when you don't do what you were supposed to be doing, you just start back over at 0. But you work your way back to what you already know that you can do. And if you haven't got there yet, you haven't gotten to those days where you can look back and say, hey, for the last 6 months I've been kicking butt, then start and work your way up from 0. Work your way as far as you can until all of a sudden something happens, all right? And it might not, some of you might not, something might not come up and you might not miss it at all. But for those that do, look, say you only get to 10 and all of a sudden you have to start back at 0. So what? You're doing more than a lot of individuals do, because a lot of individuals never start that process. They never start getting on a program. They never start doing something to work towards their goals overall. So when something comes up in this world that we call life, and it throws you a curveball, and you know what? It knocks you out of the game. It gives you a setback. Oh well. Get back to what you're doing. Get back to where you know that you can go. And get back to continuing to move forward to your goal overall. But don't worry about starting back over at 0. Everybody has started back over at 0. I have started back over at 0 many, many, many times. And you just work your way back up. Every single day, doing it what you're supposed to be doing to get to your goals overall. So don't look at that as some type of failure. Don't look at like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to do what I wanted to do because I had that day when I missed it. I cheated on my diet. I didn't go to the track. I didn't go to the batting cages. It's a day. Make sure that it's not day after day after day that you're doing that. Start back over at 0, work your way back up to success. Appreciate you watching Decide and Do 128. Till my next video, like, share, and as always, feedback's welcome.